hello to my Year 8. So if you're getting this video, you're obviously going to be in my Year 8 media class. Now this is going to be a new class you guys didn't do in Year 7. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So it's really going to get you a lot of freedom. So what this video is about is I'm just going to give you a real quick kind of intro into what you're going to be looking at this semester, as well as one of the first resources I've made for you to check out. So let's begin. So let's open up one of these. So you'll be starting to get these things that I make for you. These are called iBooks. I'll just pinch that down so we go to the start. Now again, don't worry if anything that I talk about today in this little video is like over your head and you're like, I've never used that before, I don't know what that is. I'll explain it all when we have class. This is just kind of give you a little bit of a taste. So what we're going to do in media is you've got it for a semester and we're going to break it down into 2 terms, okay? And term 1 is pre-production and term 2 is production. You're like, what is that about? Essentially what you're going to be doing is you're going to be making a movie, okay? You're going to be making a teen movie. Now, you're not just going to run around there and film stuff and fall on the ground and think it's funny. This is going to be, it's got a lot of kind of little layers and concepts in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at all those things that go together to make a movie, essentially, what you see. You know, it's not as simple as just filming stuff. All right, there's lots and lots of things in the background that go on and these really cool concepts that are all at play. You know, things like storyboards and screenplays and scripts and camera angles and cinematography and, you know, why they film this and why they film that and why they're showing this scene now and, oh, how does that make you feel sad and all those kind of things. There's stacks and stacks of stuff. So we're going to look at that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And so what I've done in this one here is that we're going to look at a certain kind of movie. You've got these things called genres, okay? A genre, you know, like your horror movies and your action movies and your sci-fi movies, they all have a certain genre. So, you know, I thought if I just let you film anything, make your own movie, it'll be pretty big, you know, we could go all over the place. So I'm going to narrow it down into one genre, which hopefully you guys know because you'd all be teenagers now, pushing the cusp of teenagers. So we're going to be looking at teen movies, okay? And they're a certain genre of movie. You may think of some now, okay? Like a really good example I'm going to use because you're going to be like, that's not a teen movie, is Harry Potter, okay? So Harry Potter it's a teen movie because it has these things called conventions, which we'll talk about in a second. It has these certain things that it has in that movie that are in, you know, all these other teen movies. You know, you've got guys that are generally out of school. You've got things like, you know, you've got the bully and you've got the smart character and the jock and all these kind of things. And it'll all make sense. So let's have a look at this book here. So what you've got is this is what we're going to be looking at. So I'll have this resource ready for you to go when we start, or I'll even have it up on my site so you can check it out and download it now. And what I'm doing here is I'm talking about teen movies, what they're about, okay? And obviously Napoleon Dynamite, you may have never seen any of these, all right? So I talk about, you know, the really old, the first kind of teen movies back in the 50s, all right? And then we've got the 80s, which were a big boom of teen movies as well, and I'm talking about stuff in there. I'm moving across to like the 90s, late 80s, kind of getting into early 90s. These are all videos that you can actually watch. They're all little movie trailers for these movies because, you know, well, you weren't born when these came out, so we'll check those out. Then I'm looking at things like stereotypes. Okay, so stereotypes. So what do you see? What are in all these teen movies that are similar, you know, and I'm kind of breaking it down to like these jocks and, you know, the girl next door and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to have a look at that. All right, there's a few more there. We're going to look at other things as well, which are really important for a movie, like the soundtrack, okay, like the music. You know, one thing with movies, which is weird, of course. In real life, you don't walk around and there's always a constant soundtrack going on in the background, but in movies, we do that. You know, they use music, and they use music to make you feel a certain emotion. You know, you should be feeling this right now, and they can use music to do that. So you'll see in this book, I've got a couple of examples of where they use music in certain parts of an awesome movie called Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which really kind of set that scene. So we'll look at that. Then we're looking at kind of the newer, I guess, kind of teen movies, and then we're going to be looking at a few others as well. So across here, I've got one movie here called Napoleon Dynamite. Now, you may not have seen this. It's a bit weird. It's a bit quirky, but it's definitely a teen movie. So what we're going to do in our first few lessons is we're actually going to watch it. Okay, we're going to watch this movie and see what it's all about. But what I'm going to get you to do too, and what this part of the book is here, is I'm going to get you to kind of review it, okay? And not just write a couple of lines saying this movie was good. You're going to actually look at it. You're going to look at all these things. Like you're going to, you know, I've got to be informed, describe, analyze, and advise. That's what a review should do for an audience. So you're going to try and do that with your review, and that's what this is here. I've got a review that I've got, and then I've pulled apart so you can kind of see what a review is about, structure, all right, and all this kind of thing as well. Like you're going to be looking at direction and editing and cinematography and all of this. And then the reason why I'm doing that is because I think the best thing to do if you're going to make a movie is, see one that's already there and pull it apart and see what they did. And then that way you can see, oh, this is how they made that movie and this is what all those little bits work. And then I'm going to make mine. So that's a really quick rundown of one of the first few weeks in media. Okay, so after this, we look at this kind of genre. We're then going to look at other things like storyboards and screenplays, and you're going to start to create your own teen movie. So again, this was a really quick overview, and we'll go into it in more depth a little bit later, but I just wanted to give you a quick intro before I see you next week. And yeah, any questions in the meantime, shoot me an email. But maybe, it's a while away, but maybe start thinking now, what kind of movie could I make? What kind of teen movie could I make? And again, we'll talk more about it later. So I'll see you all soon. Bon Jovi.